If you're gonna clear your throat, maybe put it on mute.
That might not be a bad idea.
Jesus.
All right, hey everybody out there in Twitch land. This is Carlos Lysing, and welcome to the first Betrayal campaign. Anybody who's watching out there in Twitch right now is going to notice that our usual background is not working tonight. The reason why I'm doing that is our fourth player is going to be a little bit late, and it saves us from reformatting the screen and give you guys a little bit better of an experience out there. As usual, I'd like to go around the horn, and I'll go ahead and introduce our players to you. Up there in our left-hand top corner is David Aho. Down there in our bottom right-hand corner, or left-hand corner, is Patrick Hope. And in our bottom right-hand corner is Jeremy Brazil. Gentlemen, welcome back. We had a little bit of an absence there. I hope it made the heart grow a little fonder for the game. And we'll be starting right now as soon as I do a little bit of performa here and give you our viewers a little bit of an idea of what they can expect going forward from Castle Entertainment. Right now, we are currently working on the Castle Entertainment Patreon. In currently all of our materials. I just finished the mini module last night. It's called the Abscess. It is a little bit of a look in to who our guest is going to be, our special guest for December. I'm pleased to announce that on December 23rd, we're going to have Luke Gygax as our guest for Castle Talk. So he'll be showing up, and we'll be having an in-depth talk about his history as Melf and the formative years of the Greyhawk campaign. For those of you who are interested in the history of the game and in Greyhawk, I mean, that's you can't get much more of an authority alive right now than Luke. His brother Ernie, of course, is also almost as much of an authority, but maybe we'll have him on in coming days. So, gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to go ahead. We're going to start our game right now. We'll start over here with Patrick right now. Patrick and Jeremy, who is off screen right now. I think he's muted his screen for the time being. You guys were at the camp in Raddick along the shore. You guys had just had your all-night death bout down in the tunnels underneath the where the camp is. It had been a pretty serious situation for all of you, but you guys managed to come out of there unscathed. For the most part, just a little bit terrified. You guys now know that there's horrific things that are underneath the camp right now, and you're deciding how you guys were going to go forward. Meanwhile, David and his group had gone over and they had investigated they were going to investigate the lost city that apparently had some magic items in there that were water-based, and considering they're going to go out to sea, they thought that was a good idea to go out there and look at it. Well, they managed to find an underground labyrinth on their way over there. And in the underground labyrinth, they managed to come across this necromancer who may or may not be friendly. They were still trying to determine what exactly was going on there. They managed to kind of find themselves a safe place to hunker down for the moment. We're going to go ahead. We're going to begin play with David, since Jeremy's off screen right now. David, okay. You guys all went kind of decided to get some rest for the night after you guys had done so much stuff over there. What spells are you going to prepare for the morning?
I am going to do the standard 2 cure lights, and I think I'm going to change something to I was just had it in the back of my head. I'm not.
Okay. While you're deciding, Patrick is a spellcaster yourself. When you're at your camp, what would you like to prepare for the day?
Magic missile.
Magic missile is your choice. Okay, excellent. Go ahead. You were Jeremy. What were you going to say?
Well, I had some technical difficulties when you announced that Luke was going to be coming on the show.
Okay.
I'm not convinced he knows about D&D, what he says he does.
Oh, okay.
I'm suspect of the whole thing.
I see.
So
okay.
just keep that in mind.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. On Facebook here, after we're done, I'm going to start a group chat with you, me, and him, so you can tell him your opinion directly, and we'll see how all that hashes out. Okay, I think that's probably the best way to go forward with it.
If we're gonna do that, I should start drinking beforehand.
I think so too. Heavily.
Love you, Luke.
I love you too, baby. And it's going to be the show of shows. I can't wait for it. Anyway, going back to David, when you wake up, you are a little bit less surrounded by people than you were previously. You're in that room that you guys were hunkered down at before, and the only people that are there surrounding you that you see are your dwarven fighter, Merrick, and
Okay.
your Einar, your barbarian cleric. Everyone else is gone right now. You're just kind of coming to. You were saying about the spells. Oh yeah. Never mind. You went your standard array.
Yeah, I was just do the standard two cure lights, and I'm going to do a command this time.
Okay, you want to do command as well. That sounds good. Okay, so you wake up and that's what you see. Pretty much, you pray for your spells, and Einar and Merrick tell you in get you up to speed when you ask, I'm sure, where everyone else is, that the necromancer, along with Sonny and Brixton, they have gone off on their own because Brixton is going to ask her something very important, apparently.
Okay.
But they're not really they don't really he was professionally vague, they say, about what he wanted to do.
Okay.
In the
Did they say
meantime, Merrick kind of looks over at you. He points over at the iron door that's over in the middle of the room across from you that you guys had that would go further deeper into the labyrinth that you're in. He goes, "Well, do you want to go without him or what? Do you want to wait for him?"
First off, do a recap of what this room looks like again.
It's a square room, about 30 by 30. In the middle of the far room, of the far wall, there's a door there, an iron door. There are runes all the way around the door, around the top of it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we check like one or two of the door or some door as well?
Yeah, you guys checked this door to see if it was trapped, to see if it was to see if there was magic. Your assessment was that there was magic on the door, but it was not trapped.
Okay. What type of writing or runes is this?
It's dwarven, and Merrick has told you that it says it's this way to Mirathason. Is what it says. Mirathason. I don't know what that means, but I guess it's the city.
Okay. I'll try to remember how to try to spell that right.
Right.
Let's see. Does it look like it's going? We're trying to find the particular city. Was that the name of the one that was pointed to? And this is like a couple weeks ago, so
yes.
I was trying to remember.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
This is the one that we were sort of looking at.
Yes, you had two directions that you could have possibly gone. One was towards the forge, and one was towards the city.
Okay, we figured that the city was
where the location would probably be.
Okay. As far as the hallway out there, is that glass?
Yeah, that's the. He goes. Einar tells you. He goes. That's where. He goes. That's where Brixton and that strange woman went with Sonny.
Were they going? I asked them. Did they go farther up the hallway, or they go backwards?
They went farther up. They went backwards towards where we came. I suppose that they wanted some sort of privacy for whatever Brixton is going to ask.
Okay.
In the meantime, would you like to try this door?
I want to pick her brains. I don't think it would. Well, she said that there was magic, but it wasn't trapped. She's a necromancer. I'm not, or some kind of spellcaster apparently. So I'm wondering if she would be better off looking at it, see if there's
Well,
something,
Merrick says, first of all, we just met this broad, all right? So I don't trust her, first of all. She can say
Right.
whatever she wants to about being whatever she wants to be, okay? But we can't take that at face value,
No.
as far as I'm concerned. And thirdly, she was hunkered up in this room when we showed up. Why didn't she go through the door?
Apparently we had, we apparently, interrupted her right before she was. But
Yeah, but if she really thought it was
that's
safe,
what she
wouldn't she have
said.
gone right through it?
Don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's something more to it than this. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to the we're going to go back to the camp, and in the middle of the camp, you guys had also gone to sleep for the evening after your trip through the tunnels. You memorized your spell, Patrick. The sun is coming up. Would you have appraised the colonel and his daughter and Calissa of what you saw down underneath in the tunnels?
Yes. Yeah, I'll go tell them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you guys tell them that. When you wake up, Rainmar, the first thing that you smell is bacon and eggs, and you wake up inside of one of the caravan carriages, and Lily is just putting down a plate there, and she's just walking out and closing the door. She's trying to be very quiet, you can tell, but she was not so quiet that she couldn't wake you.
Is it possible for me to grab her by the ankle before she leaves the room?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, she's trying to be really quiet, and she doesn't suspect you at all, so you're not even going to have to roll an attack for it. So you go ahead and you... Go ahead.
I just grab her ankle and go...
Okay, you reach out and you snag her ankle at the last moment. It's just she screams bloody murder, falls flat on her face when you grab her, and she turns around, she looks at you, she's like, oh, Raymar, oh, you scared. She's just trying to catch her breath.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. I made you breakfast. She points over at the plate. Meanwhile,
doesn't your master tell you to always be on your guard?
Yeah, but I didn't think I had to worry about my friends.
I'm gonna have to speak with him about this.
Meanwhile, the first thing that you hear as you're talking to Calissa about the situation out there, Agrias, is you hear Lily scream bloody murder from inside of one of the caravans, the one in which Raymar is sleeping. You can pretty much tell already what's happened.
Right, of course.
We have a new person here in the group, everyone. As you can see, my friend Matthew Lazinski, who's playing Brixton Beholder's Bane, just showed up. Brixton, we'll go ahead and we'll catch you up to speed here when we go back to David's group.
Carlos.
Yes.
Is my screen frozen for you?
Your screen is frozen for me, and I think Patrick's is as well.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, you guys are having some technical difficulties over there at the thing right now, but that's okay.
Problem solved.
Yeah, that's okay. What we'll do is you guys can just go ahead and do your thing, and I'll just have you guys as placeholders for the time being. Patrick, if you want to go ahead and mute your screen too. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put you guys up here as that. And I will go ahead and I will make the an adjustment to the screens, okay? If everyone will just give me just a moment here. So we'll go ahead and we'll go back to, while you guys are waiting and I'm adjusting screens, I'm going to go back to David and his crew for the meantime. Matthew, the way that I put you into the game for the time being is that you went for the morning, based on what you told me you wanted to do. You have gone with the necromancer. And you've left the room in which everybody was hunkered down for the evening, where you first met her. I believe you had some business with her you wanted to attend to, if I remember correctly. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought I remembered that. In the meantime, David, you said you wanted to try that door?
I am asking. I want to ask the other two what their thoughts on the matter would be.
Well, I'm all fine with that, but I think we should. I don't. I know he's a pain in the ass, but I really don't think we should leave Brixton by himself out there.
No, I don't think, especially with somebody we just met and that we really don't trust yet.
Yeah, I know. I mean, for me, I know Lily can handle herself. I mean, Sonny can. I always get them too confused. I know they can handle themselves.
Lily's the one that's actually properly trained. Brutal.
That is brutal.
Ooh,
Lily is. He goes. I get the. He goes. I know she can handle herself, but I just don't think it's a good idea.
yeah.
So
I would like to, in case something happens, I also don't want to go off somewhere and leave them guessing as to where we go, even though the door might be open.
right,
No.
right. I'm of the same mind. Let's go back and find them. So we go. We'll go ahead with you at that time as you're leaving them. As you're leaving back for there, Brixton, you're with Calissa, or excuse me, with the Necromancer right now. As I recall, you wanted to ask the Necromancer a question about training. Did you not?
No, because I can't learn anything from the necromancer.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. But you did want to ask her something, as I recall.
Yeah, I don't remember what exactly it was.
Okay, well that's all right. You're with her right now.
Okay.
You're with her
Wait,
right
we
now,
don't-
and Sunny is with you as well. Sunny, when you woke up, the very first thing she did is apologize profusely for not being able to make breakfast. I just don't have all the stuff.
That's okay.
But
That's okay.
I know you want to maybe make a good impression on our new friend, and I feel like I let you down a little.
Just a little, but it's okay.
Okay. So the Necromancer is with you. She goes, well, this is all fine and good, but she's looking around. She looks like she's maybe a little bit nervous on being pulled off by herself by somebody she doesn't know. She's probably in the same boat as you are a little bit. And she says to you, so what did you want to ask me exactly?
I pulled her aside?
Yeah, you pulled her aside.
Oh.
Yeah, you told me you wanted to
cool.
ask her something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just trying to.
The Necromancer is there. She kind of leans on her staff a little bit and looks over at you. As you get a chance to look at her closely, you can see her right arm is entirely withered and gone black. It looks like almost skeletal. Her left arm is in good shape. She's leaning on her staff looking at you. Got a skull on the top of it. It's just kind of balanced under her chin. She looks at you. She says, so slip your mind then?
It did, yeah, for the
okay.
time being.
I thought intelligence was a prerequisite for magics. I suppose it's not for illusionists, though. Oh, I forgot. That's really not true magic. That's just parlor tricks. So
That's the kind of episode it's going to be.
she says, well, I suppose we can go back and
guys.
see your friends then.
Cool.
She looks over and she goes, oh, and your name was what again? I'm Sunny. Oh, yes. Please have breakfast prepared next morning. She walks down the hallway away from you. She looks back.
Cool.
She says, she looks back and says, "You're letting your master down." Keeps walking down the hallway.
I think it's safe to say that the gloves are off now.
So anyway, Ariane, you're sitting there, and the rest of the crew comes back.
okay.
Lily looks, or Sunny looks forlorn, absolutely like dejected. The Necromancer's got a little happy jaunt in her step as she walks in. She says, "Oh, I suppose I would have expected you would have tried the door by now."
No,
No.
I didn't want to do anything without the rest of the party here.
Oh, I see. Well, we're here now.
Okay. What do you know anything about what might the magics on this particular door? Have you found anything?
Absolutely not. That's what I was trying to ascertain when you interrupted
right.
me. I was about ready to have my undead try the door. I was going to walk away at a reasonable distance in case it was trapped. But since you forced me to destroy all of them to show my loyalty, that's not an option anymore.
Right. And I realize that's the point, but
Yes, it's a shame.
so you want to open this door?
She looks over at you. She says, "Well, I think some of our big, handsome, strong men should open the door." She looks over at you, Arion. She goes, "After all, I am just a mage, and I think the gnomes are ill-suited to do so."
I would have laughed if she looked at Brixton when she said that.
Is there the latch on this door? Is it something you can rope and jog loose?
Not
or
really.
is
It's something. It would have to be turned and opened.
like a doorknob
Mm-hmm.
over a latch?
Yeah, Brixton. She looks over at you. She says, "Perhaps you can summon something to open the door."
That was your job.
I already performed that role. But as I said, your lack of trust means that my undead are no longer in a position that they can open the door.
Can I inspect the door?
Sure.
Can I like check it for traps?
Yeah,
and
make me
whatnot?
a percentage dice. Sunny comes over with you. She's trying to study what you're doing.
23.
She looks over, she whispers in your ear while you're doing it, while you're working. She goes, "She's kind of mean, you know that?"
Yeah, you know, she plays with dead things.
I know, it's creepy. It's weird. And they smell funny.
Yeah.
Well, she kind of
Plug your
smells
nose.
like... You ever been... When you were in Caverick's Cove, did you ever go to Old Man Kenzie's house?
No.
It kind of smells like him.
Maybe it is him.
You don't think.
They had Ben Gay over there.
You don't think. She looks over at you.
It could be.
When are we going to learn more spells?
After we open these doors.
Right after?
No, like eventually after.
She rolls her eyes. Okay, so you're checking for traps and everything, and you don't find anything. Raymar and Agrias, going back to you. Breakfast is over. You scared the hell out of Lily successfully. And you are going back to... for those of you who are watching us a little bit late right now, Raymar and Agrias are off screen, but they're here with us right now. They're here in spirit with us. So we're gonna continue with them. Yeah, it's like a seance. But we do have magic users here, so I guess that works out well. So anyway, Raymar and Agrias, you guys are, I would imagine you would meet in the center of the camp at this point. The Colonel and his daughter, Shauna, would like to have a word with you both.
That's good. I'd like to have a couple words with them.
Okay, so everyone meets in the center. It's pretty much all of the professionals that are there. It's the two of you. Herrick is down there with you. Elin is with you. Lily is with you. And the captain is with you.
Has Lily changed her underwear?
Lily is busy of the fire right now, trying to make breakfast for everyone else. But yeah, Lily finally did change her underwear.
Okay, good to know.
In the meantime, Rainmar, you're about ready to go ahead and talk to the colonel. Agrias is moving up to him, and the captain comes over, and she looks over at you. She kind of pulls you aside a bit. She says, "I waited for you last night."
What were you waiting for?
"I thought you might come to the ship to say hello."
Well, am I not the flavor of the month? You could have come to me.
She looks over. She goes, "Oh, I could have come to you." She goes, "But I am a lady of merit," she says. "I'm not accustomed to having to chase."
I see. Well, I'm a runner. You got to be a chaser.
She smiles a bit. She says, "Oh, you're one of those kind."
Let's be honest, Captain. Since you've been around me, you've learned a lot of new tricks.
She goes, "Oh, I've learned a couple new tricks," she says. And that's a rarity. I'll give you that. She says, but
Actually, I gave it to you. Over
on the other hand, she says, on the other hand, if you'd like to continue your training, she goes, leans in a little closer. Don't keep me waiting. And she turns around, walks away, opens her parasol, and walks away.
That sounded vaguely like a threat.
So anyway, you are with the Agrias. You and the Raymar go up to the colonel, the two of you. The colonel is
So-
standing there with his daughter, and Calissa is there. Calissa's looking through a book. The book says illusions and divinations on it, and she's studying it real carefully.
Okay.
She looks over at you two. Good morning. Calissa straightens her glasses a little bit.
Good morning.
Is it?
I'm not sure. The colonel says, because I understand that you ran into some trouble underneath the camp.
Well, that's not how I would put it.
Agrias, he says. What? How should we move forward? Do you think?
Well, you've been in this land before, correct?
Yes, once.
And were these tunnels already here when you were here last?
We had no idea that they were here. Judging from what you told me this morning about what you encountered, he goes, they certainly had to have been here before us. He goes, but the truth is, he goes, when we surveyed the land, we did so from ship. He looks over, he goes, Captain Detarndress took us down the coastline, and most of our exploration was done from the ship. He goes, we walked the land only for a brief time to see if it would be suitable, if the ground had the kind of the stuff to handle the construction of a site like what we want to build.
Okay.
But at that point in time, we had no idea that these tunnels were here.
Okay.
He looks over
Well,
at
there's
you.
definitely a well-dug ratway down there.
Lily comes over and she doesn't say a word. She puts your breakfast there right next to you. Agrias just looks up at you and kind of smiles. Hands some to the captain and his daughter and Calissa.
Thanks, Rambo.
She smiles. She goes, "What's a Rambo? Is that a human word?"
A gnome with a knife.
A gnome with a knife.
Oh, she goes, then I'm a Rambo. She puts her dagger around a couple times. She goes, I guess I learned what Brixton taught me pretty well. And what you taught me too, Agrias. She goes, ever since I've started hanging around you, she goes, I feel more confident and like, I feel like I'm like a warrior.
Does she feel more capable?
Kinda, yeah. I guess I feel more capable. I guess that's a good word for it.
Oh, you guys gotta stop.
Thank you, Lily. You may go.
Oh, thank you. I'll be practicing while I'm gone. She walks away.
Okay.
I hope so. Your technique sucks.
Are you gonna say that out loud?
No, I just to Agrias.
Agrias.
Blame it on the teacher.
Calissa looks at you like she's not sure if you're serious or not. But
I look at Calissa like I'm not sure if I'm serious or not.
the daughter kind of chuckles a little bit. Lynn looks over at you, Agrias, and she says, well, we need a plan going forward for how we're going to deal with what's underneath.
Okay. Do you think it's possible to drown them?
We're talking about the gnome?
No, the tunnels.
Oh, tunnels. Got it.
We can
could
drown
flood the
the
tunnels.
We can drown Sunny. Is it possible to carve a waterway into the tunnels?
Well, he goes, if you could find where the end of the tunnel was, the way you described it sounded like it went out into the water underneath the ocean. He goes, I think it would be easy to flood it.
Okay.
He goes, but until
Not
then,
sure.
he goes, until then, I don't know how we would do that.
Given our current track record with tunnel diving, I think it'd be good if we could carve it from above. I'd rather not risk any more lives going underneath. I don't feel that capable.
I think that's a wise idea. Until then, he says that I can have the workers go ahead. We could build a structure over the top of it to prevent anyone from coming up out of it. He says, but I understand that there's a possibility that we might be running short of timber.
Yeah, I'd rather bury it with water than fortify it with lumber we could use somewhere else.
I have a question, Calissa says. I don't
I
really
hopefully have an
know too
answer.
much about necromantic magics. It's not really my field, but if these are undead underneath there, they'll be able to flooding it won't matter to them. It'll just slow them down a little bit. They don't drown.
True. So maybe a no-go on that. Although our fortress looked pretty cool with a moat around it, don't you think?
Calissa kind of chuckles at that. She says, "Well, it is much more defensible, especially if we have." I believe Arion said that there might be some orcs out there to the west. If that's true, then a moat would be useful. As she mentions that you look out to the west, there is a wall that the men are still building that palisade fence around. They've got probably maybe about a tenth of it done.
Okay.
Mhm.
I need to find Herrick.
Herrick is actually walking over to you. He's got his axe slung over his shoulder, his crossbow. He looks over at you. He goes, "All right, one of you pussies gonna go back underneath there and kill some shit."
Jesus Christ.
He goes, "Good morning, guys. How you doing?" He goes, "Where's my
Good morning.
breakfast?"
Did you actually get some sleep?
A little bit here and there. I had some trouble. He looks down at he looks at your breakfast. He goes, "Where's the no make me one?"
No, she didn't, but I'll split mine with you.
Oh, good. Thanks, man. Hey, listen. I did some thinking last night. And I was thinking. He goes, "Why y'all laughing?"
Tell us what you were thinking.
Oh, all right. Well, I was thinking that, Lynn said that, she's not too good with undead and stuff, like turning them, like a normal priest. I am a normal priestess. I'm just a nature priestess, you fool. Well, you know what I mean. No offense. What I'm trying to say is, I'm thinking this. If we all
Do you
took...
think as fast as you speak?
Huh?
Keep going.
I don't get it.
It's okay.
All right. Well, I guess it's not important. Listen, I got a great idea. So what I was thinking is this. We got a bunch of oil that we bought, right?
Right.
Well, we go underneath there and we take the oil and we set a bunch of oil traps, like the one that you set on the other that you set on the other end. And we go ahead, we just make giant walls of fire, and we see, that should bar it, right? Elin looks at him. She says, "The smoke would come right out of the hole, would give away our position to the orcs that are out in the woods." Well, what if we covered it? What do you think? What do you think about that, Miss Nature Priestess? She rolls her eyes and she looks at you, Agrias. Well, listen, I think the wall of fire is a good idea.
Nature?
I think the wall of fire is a good idea.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Right. Well, I was thinking, fire, the stuff that's underneath there, if it's water, I mean, hey, oil floats on water, right?
Hey, Herrick,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to forego the thinking part of this whole strategy here. We've got plenty of brainiacs in this group. What I need you to do is stop being a pussy and go down there and start killing those undead.
You coming with?
Well, I've been waiting on you the whole time.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Well, let's go. Let's mount an offense. He goes, what's the plan? Looks
Well,
at you,
that's up
Agrias.
to our little.
He goes, by the way, he goes, I heard that when I was guarding the rear of the party, that you got saved by the gnome. He points at you and starts laughing.
Wasn't me that got saved by the gnome. It was your precious foreman here.
Oh, well, he points over at Agrias. You got saved by a gnome.
Yeah, she said she got the technique from you, so thank you. You actually saved my life.
Well, it's not my fault that I'm a better swordsman than most.
That's
Kinda.
not the only technique he learned from her, I think.
Meanwhile, going back to the group underneath in the labyrinth. Ariane, you are there with Brixton, and you guys were deciding about how you wanted to get through the door, if you wanted to get through the door.
I am thinking. First off, I pose the question. It's like, you think we should close the door to the hallway before we open this one?
Well, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, Einar says he walks over to it and starts getting ready to close it.
I think if we open it, let's get off to either side of it. I'm gonna ready 2 arrows.
Okay.
Does the door open inward?
It opens inwards. Yes.
There's
Into the room.
2 doors, right?
Yes, there are 2 doors. One on opposite side of the room.
Okay, which one are we opening?
You're opening the one that leads away from the glass tunnel.
Okay.
Merrick says, I'll stand in front if Einar wants to open the door. You can open it and kind of get to the one side of it. Einar nods. I'll stay in the back. I can't wait to watch this. Your name was Sunshine or something? Watch this. This might be educational. Brixton, are you going to open the door with your friend?
Is there? Has anybody got a little fire lit at all by chance?
Fire, you said?
Just like a little flame.
Oh, I have a torch.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I need. I dipped two of my arrows in white pitch.
Okay. You get yourself ready with some white pitch. Brixton, where are you going to be standing in the room when the door is opened?
I'm going to stand with the necromancer.
Okay, the necromancer's there. She looks over at you. She looks down at you. She kind of is eyeing you up and down very carefully.
Does she got like any shiny items on her?
Yeah, she has a dagger that's got a jewel at the bottom of it. She kind of pats your head a couple times.
Neat.
On your through your hat. She goes, "That's an interesting feather you have there."
Thanks.
I like it. Colorful.
Thank you.
Are you going to steal the dagger?
I'm polishing up my holy symbol too, just on the
just in case.
Are you going to Are you going to steal something?
Not right now.
Brixton. Sonny kind of whispers in your, "Hey, Brixton."
Yeah.
She puts out her hand.
I pound.
No. She slips something in your hand.
Oh, okay. What is it?
It's a big gem. Looks like a chrysoberyl. She kind of wags her eyes. She goes, "I did it."
And I kind of point to the necromancer.
She nods. Okay, the door is slowly opening. The door opens up. This old, ancient creaking noise of rusty iron being turned on itself. It's loud as it opens up. Turns slow. Einar looks over at Merrick. Goes, "Pretty heavy." Goes, "Put your ass into it." Starts pulling back. Opens the door. The smell that you get forth from that is that scent of old air that hasn't been circulated in a long time, mixed with something that smells like rust and something that has been burning. Very old though, like
Okay.
it's clearly not. It's not current. The necromancer looks at you. She goes, "See, I told you, you had nothing to worry about."
Okay. In other words, it smells like the rust and something burning might be like a remnant of a forge.
Yeah, it could be.
Of,
It could be. She says it's very unusual. The sign said that the forge was the other direction.
yeah, but you never know. They probably had a forge that way too.
Yeah, well, I ain't worried about it. I'm worried about what's in there.
I have a question for the necromancer.
Yeah, you ask her. What are you going to ask her?
I pull out one of those obsidian shards
Mm-hmm.
and show it to her.
Oh, this is nice.
What? Yeah. Would this stuff be? Is this we got this from where we came in? Would this be somewhat detrimental to your ex partners?
Oh no, oh no. She says I could use this as a material component if I wanted to in raising some dead. She goes, "Is this for me?"
You can have that.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
touched.
I've got some more.
I truly am touched. Your name was what again?
Arian
Arian.
Marquesas.
Arian, I have a question for you.
I might have an answer.
She leans forward and she knocks twice on your mask.
Yes.
Why do you wear a mask?
I take the mask off. This is sort of why.
She looks back. She goes, "Oh, not quite a drow."
I am not a. My father was dark skinned. My mother was a high elf.
I see. Oh, I see. It must be very off-putting to some people. Some uneducated fools who don't understand the difference between a drow and a true elf.
Yes.
Brixton, come here, dear.
I'm here.
Oh, Brixton, yes, Brixton. Brixton, she points over at Arion. She goes, "Do you see this?
Yeah.
This is what happens when a dark-skinned human mates with a female elf." She goes, "It's not quite a drow."
I know how the birds and the bees work.
Oh. Well, I was under the impression that I had to see to your education. Forgive me. Sonny says,
I am laughing my ass off.
Sonny looks over at her. She walks right up to her. She goes, "Stop talking to him like that." She looks down at her. What? She goes, "I said stop talking to him like that." "I'm sorry, dear." She pats her right on the head. "I don't understand insect. Now, gentlemen, would we like to continue on our way?"
Well, other than the door we closed from the glass hallway, this is the only other door, right?
Yeah.
Or
Sonny is just steaming out of her ears right now, almost. America looks over at you, Brixton. He's like, "We'll do
I'm gonna walk through the doorway.
You're just gonna take that?
He looks over at Einar. He goes, "He's just gonna take that shit?" He goes, looks at, shrugs. He goes, "Gnomes are funny like that." He goes, "They're jokesters." He goes, "I guess you've got to be able to take it if you can give it."
Sounds like date night.
Sounds like date night.
Brixton, what's the marching order going down since you're the de facto caller of the group right now?
I'm gonna go first.
Okay. Sonny's with you at your side.
Yeah, and then probably Merrick,
Merrick is next,
and then Arion. Do you want to be in the back or closer to the front?
I'll stay at the back with the torch.
I'll stay in the back. That way I can light the arrows with the torch if need be. Plus, I can shoot over the short people.
It's a good idea if you stay with me. We should probably keep the brains of the party intact. Arion.
Yeah,
She's
well, I'm
gonna
not
get
good,
hers.
though. Smart.
Einar's like, I guess I'll stand in the middle then.
Perfect.
Einar looks over at you, Brixton. He says, Brixton, a word?
I go talk to Ina.
Einar looks at you. He says, listen. He says, my sister died for you. It means to me that you must be someone worth dying for. He goes,
That's what you got out of that?
when you have had enough
This
of
poor
her
bastard.
words, when you have had enough of her words, you've but to let me know.
I appreciate that.
He nods.
She'll get hers.
He looks back at you. He says, are we suggesting that we're going to set something up?
Not yet.
Well, just let me know when the time comes.
We'll see how useful she appears to be.
Okay, so you guys continue to walk down the hallway. The hallway is about maybe 10 foot wide. It's all iron jacketed all the way around you. So your
Okay.
footsteps at the back of the party, the people that are non-thieves or rangers, Ariane, you're quiet enough that you can kind of keep it to a dull roar.
Soft boots, so they don't really.
Yeah,
clatter.
but Merrick and Einar, they're loud as they walk through there.
Yeah.
So Brixton, are you going to be a little bit ahead of the party, or are you going to be with the group?
I want to be a little bit ahead so I can use my infravision.
Okay, so you're about maybe 30 feet ahead of the group with Sonny. Sonny looks over at you when you're away. She goes, "She shouldn't say stuff like that. I mean, she doesn't even know you. I'm so mad at her. I could have stolen her dagger and stabbed her with it.
Don't do that.
If Ariane was here, he would have told her to shut up. I mean, if Grass was here, he would have told her to shut right up."
Yeah, but you have to understand there's yep, there's a time and a place. And as being rogues, we have to be sneaky thieves.
I know. Oh, that reminds me. You said that right after the door opened, we were going to learn some spells. Are we going to learn some spells now?
Well, we got to make sure that it's safe.
Well, yeah, I know, but I want to learn spells. I mean, it's so much fun.
I know.
I'm really eager. I want to show Death Girl back there that we can really that we're a good team.
Well, have you been practicing your noise spell?
I
Maybe
have.
You can startle her.
You want to see? Oh, I get it. I got something for her.
What was her name again, by the way?
Huh?
Death Girl.
Death Girl. Her name was Isind. Y''Cind.
What's that?
Isind.
Isind.
Mm-hmm. She looks over. She goes, I got something for her.
I bet you do.
She looks at you. She goes, I'm going to make you proud.
Always.
I wonder if Lily's okay back at the camp.
She's with Agrias. Agrias wouldn't let anything happen to her.
I know, but
or maybe
she's been acting so weird lately. It's like she's all into Agrias. I mean, it's almost like she doesn't remember how awesome you are.
Well,
Matt, you got a stage 5 cleaner, bro.
Well, we haven't spent a lot of time with Lily lately. We've been away.
I know, but I just worry about her. I worry that she's gonna I don't know, she's gonna try. If I know Lily just likes anybody that's around her. She's really impressionable, and I just think that maybe if she hangs around Agrias and Rainmarsh, she's gonna start acting like them.
That's okay. We all grow.
I know, but I want her to grow up like you and me, not like them. I mean, they're good and all. I mean, I like them, but I just don't think that Agrias likes me very much.
I think Agrias is just kind of he's got to be tough because he cares about your survival.
Meanwhile, Ariane in the back of the party, So, Mr. Marquesas, she
Yes.
says, so tell me, how does someone like you end up in a place like this?
In these tunnels, or just as in a party?
No, with this group here.
Just ended up traveling together, and
I can't help but notice around your neck the holy symbol of the huntress.
yes,
Below. True?
yes,
She nods. So you're a reverend. That's good. That's good. She says, you know that these ones over here, she looks, kind of nods over at them. She says, I think that us being with them, we have some sort of responsibility. You know, the strong should always shepherd the weak.
I wouldn't consider them weak. They've got, you know, they've got skills and strong points that I don't have.
I
And the
suppose
same thing.
I should let them prove themselves. I'm a bit on
They've
edge.
you haven't been in any kind of a situation where basically everybody's cornered. They're formidable in their own ways.
I'll take your word for it. She says, I just wish my undead were here. She says, I don't feel, I feel a little bit vulnerable without them, I must admit. But I suppose if any of them die, I can have new ones. I meant our friends.
Uh-huh.
You know, I was
I'm not
looking
really
up
sure.
and down at Brixton before. He looks like he's got strong bones.
I don't know. I don't really. I'm not really sure on gnomes.
Going back to the group at the camp now. Raymar and Agrias, you're with Herrick and the rest of them. The colonel. The colonel looks over at you. He goes, "Well, he goes, if you have a plan, then going forward," he says, "I'm going to continue to draw up our plans for the construction of the raft." He looks over at you.
Yeah, your job is to get that fortress fortified. Don't worry about what's going on in the tunnels. I'll handle it. But the fort's taking too long. I need you to pull triple time with the men.
Then in that case, I'll make sure that Shauna and I go and inspire them properly. He looks over at his daughter. His daughter nods. Shauna says, "Be safe down there if you decide that you're going to go back underneath."
I will, thank you.
Rainmar,
And
she
that was
looks.
meant for Herrick.
Rainmar, a word, if I could.
Oh, I guess.
Shauna pulls you over aside. She says, "I just wanted to let you know," she says, "that Captain Date, there's a rumor going around that you've had a pleasant dalliance with Captain de Tendresse. Is that true?"
Well, I'm afraid a gentleman is not allowed to speak of such matters.
Well, if it is true, she says, "Have I just would like to warn you. She's a friend and an ally, but I'm not sure I completely trust her. She is a pirate after all."
And yet I was the one that was pillaging.
Well, she says, "Yes, but you've proven yourself to me."
Well, if you say so. But I will be cautious. I'll be cautious, thank
That's
you.
all I'm concerned about. Is just be safe.
Understood. We'll use protection.
She kind of chuckles. She walks away. She goes, "I would definitely expect that." Oh, I can only imagine her as a mother. She shakes her head and walks away. Raymar, Agrias, you're standing there. Lily comes back with some drink for all of you. Elena's with you. Everyone looks at Agrias for the plan.
Okay. Herrick,
Yeah,
you're in charge of making sure that fortress gets fortified.
I thought you wanted the colonel to do that.
No, that was originally for Herrick.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, in that case, I'm on it.
All right. Carlos, how long Arion and Brixton been gone?
They've been gone about a day now.
Okay. I look over at the colonel. Have we gotten any word on Arion and Brixton and Merrick and Einar?
Not a word yet, no. He goes, did you
Okay.
expect them to be back within a day? He goes, a scouting mission. I would expect them to be gone nearly a week.
Let's hope it doesn't take them that long.
He nods. Well, yes, he says it's we are very exposed without half our force here.
Agreed.
Arion, I need you to roll me, Raymar and Agrias, I need you to roll me a 20-sider, both of you,
You got it.
and give me your results.
I mean, I already know it's going to be a 20 because I'm me, but just give me a second.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, it's a 10. I was only one number off.
Okay, what'd you get there, Agrias?
11.
Okay. As you guys are standing in the grove talking, or in the middle of the camp talking, a lone bird flies over your head, and you see it land over a light over on top of the boat. It's just weird because it was a lone bird, and you think it was carrying something in its mouth.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over to it.
Okay. It's a raven, you see. It's landed on the side of the boat. You see the captain walk over to it with her parasol. She pulls out the note. She looks at it. She looks down at you as you're beginning to walk towards the ship. She says, Rainmar, I believe this is for you.
Is it really?
Indeed.
Okay. So, hand it over and I'll read through it, I guess.
She looks over. She's watching you very carefully in the face as you open it up. Rainmar, the seal on it is from a monastery far to the west.
Okay.
It's an expected letter.
Understood.
Mm-hmm. It says the gist of it is that your reinforcements are about a day away.
Understood. I fold the letter up and put it in my pocket.
Okay, you fold it up. Lynn looks over at you. She says, "What did it say?"
I have a friend coming to visit me.
Oh, I see. Well, that's good. That's good. Is your friend also a warrior?
She is.
She, the captain says. That's very interesting. Takes her parasol, spins it around. She looks over at Lynn. She goes, "More competition, dear." And she walks away. Lynn looks like she wants to punch her right in the face.
After she's out of earshot, I look at Lynn and tell her nobody could compete with her.
Make me a percentage die roll.
He's got a roll.
16.
She looks over at you. She says, "We'll see about that." Turns around, walks away down the gangplank back towards the camp. Lily looks up at you. She goes, "Agrias,
Yes.
did I miss something?"
No.
Okay.
There are more important things to concern yourself with. Trust
Right.
me.
Well, I need orders. What do you want me to do, Agrias?
I want you to practice your swordsmanship or swordsmanship, I guess.
Okay. My sword's gnome-ship. Got it. She says, I've been practicing a little bit. I got that grip that you taught me. Will you see if it's right?
Yeah, I can give you another lesson. Let's do it.
Okay. So you're starting to
The training.
You're training her then.
Yeah.
Rainmar, what's your play?
I am watching this training session with great curiosity.
Okay.
I'm
Grace,
also-
tell me how you're going to train her.
I am also examining the sword that Agrias gave me, the one that was similar to his own sword. I'm going to
Okay.
examine that while they're training.
Okay. Make me a 20-sider as you're training. And Agrias, tell me how how the training session is going to go.
I'm gonna show her footwork
Okay.
to stabilize her weight while learning overhands and uppercuts with her blade.
Okay. Make me a 20
You
as
said
well.
You need a 20.
Yep. Rainmar, what'd you get?
Patrick just rolled a fucking 20. I can't believe it.
Okay. What'd
I
you
hate this.
what'd you roll
I
for your
hate this
20,
idiot.
Rainmar?
I tried to convince his mother to abort him, and it just didn't go.
I survived abortion.
Mine was a 12. Apparently, they got it right after the third child.
Okay, Rainmar, as you're examining the blade is there's something weird about it as you hold it. It feels like the pommel is hollow.
Well, I'm not dumb enough to open that up. It's probably trapped.
Okay.
Can I
Agrias,
roll?
as you're teaching Lily, she is getting this 100% all the way through. Her technique is really really solid for a novice, to the point where you actually think she may actually have some talent.
Okay.
Yeah, her footwork seems really good. The only thing is that she's really not very confident.
Right.
But what you've learned about her is she absorbs information really, really well. She's a good order follower.
Okay.
Okay, Rainmar, the session ends in about an hour. Herrick is walking back to where you guys are. He walks over to Rainmar, looks over at you. He goes, "So how's this going?"
Well, she appears to have some idea what he's doing, even if she has no idea what she's doing.
Well, I think our little our little vicious dagger wielder, I think that maybe she could save somebody else's bacon here in the morning. I got the guys working as hard as they can over there. He goes, I think they hate my guts, but, well, too bad.
Well, that comes with the territory.
Yep. He goes, actually, I kind of like it, to be honest with you. He kind of laughs a little bit.
That doesn't exactly surprise me, considering the way you and I originally bonded.
Yeah, that's the truth. He goes, so what's the word about going back under? He goes, are we going or what? He looks over at you.
What's this we stuff? I think Agrias told you were staying up top, right?
I know. He goes, but I did my job, so I figure now, I think, as I recall, he goes, didn't you say,
See,
I believe your words were, let's you pussies go underneath and start killing some shit.
Yeah. You keep using that word think and figure, and I'm pretty sure that the elf over there is in charge. So you just settle down. In the words of a dear friend, settle down.
Agrias, you and Lily are done after about an hour of training when she's pretty much exhausted. And again, you actually think that she could actually turn out to be pretty good at this if she keeps working at it. You see Herrick was walking over, him and Rainmar were talking. You overheard the conversation about going back down under and what the plan was, what he had accomplished at the fence.
Okay.
So what's the plan?
I noticed that Lily isn't confident in herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, Lily, most of this is believing in yourself, and the more information you have, the more confident you become. So I want you to learn from everyone that you can, not just Brixton and me, but everybody in our group.
She looks at you and she nods. She goes, okay, who should I start with? Maybe Rainmar? He seems really smart.
I thought long and hard about it, and I think Herrick should be your next teacher.
She looks over at you. She goes, okay, well, okay. I'll tell him that you said that.
Okay, now remember, everyone has a different teaching style, so
Right.
you have to learn to adapt to how they teach, and always have a straight face.
Yes.
Never show any emotion.
Just like you, right.
Exactly. Yeah, that's perfect.
Right. Okay, how's this look?
Do I really look like that?
Yeah, well, not really. I mean, but that's how serious you are usually.
Okay, I want extra bacon tomorrow morning.
Okay, okay. We're starting to run out
Okay, so
of bacon, just so you know. I've got some eggs, a bunch of eggs still, but we're running a little bit low on bacon.
that's okay. Okay, so I want you to train with Herrick and
Uh-huh.
then Rangmar.
Okay,
And then when Arion gets back, I want you to train with him.
okay. I'll do that.
Okay, go tag along with Herrick.
Before you go, thank you for everything you're teaching me. And
Of course.
I'm I'll make sure I retain it all too.
It's a pleasure to teach you, Lily.
Thank you.
Is Lily your real name?
Not really. It's short. It's Liliana, but I don't really like it.
Okay. Well, Lily it is.
Yeah, and Sunny's real name is Sunshine, but she hates it too, so she just goes by Sunny.
Yeah, well, she's a dark cloud in my life.
She laughs. She goes, she knows you don't like her.
Good.
Going back to the group in the labyrinth. Brixton, you're leading the group ahead. I need you to roll me a percentage dice and an 8-sider, please. Arion, also I need you to roll me percentage dice.
I got 10 and 8.
10 and 8?
Yeah.
Arion? A 3
3.
on percentage dice?
Yeah.
Okay. Arion, what you notice is that this hallway, it's ancient. There's a lot of dust on the ground, but your group is really trampling the tracks because you're at the back. It's really hard to see what may or may not have been there, but your best guess, and you're pretty sure about it, is that this was once a very high traffic area.
Okay.
It was obviously a main artery in which people used to come and go from wherever you're heading. Brixton, as you're heading
Okay.
down there, you are listening very carefully. You're kind of being a little bit stealthy. You hear something that sounds like a dripping noise from ahead, and it's echoey. It sounds like a larger area, whatever is dripping in. You're also aware that the hallway that you're in is sloping downward at about 15-degree grade. Going to continue onward?
Yeah.
Okay. Your
Am
group.
I'm also taking a gander behind me every once in a while just to be sure.
Arion, you're looking over at it. Oh, Arion, Mr. Marquesas.
Yes. Just Arion's fine.
If you would be so kind, if you should happen to see a corpse or something anywhere on our travails that I may or may not miss, please let me know.
I will definitely let you know. I will let you know.
Thank you. Now that you know that you can trust me and that you understand my bona fides, that perhaps you'll allow me to use my tools properly. Arion, Einar whispers back. He looks over back at you and he kind of whispers. He goes, "I hope she's not always going to be like this." Brixton, you're heading down the hallway.
Question for you. How far up ahead is Brixton from
about
me?
30 feet ahead of the main party.
Okay. First off, I want to sort of halt the party for a sec.
Okay.
Since I noticed those tracks, I want to go up a little bit further.
Okay.
And while everybody's not, and I just want to see if I can recognize whatever tracks might be there.
Yeah, the tracks to you look like they're about the size of dwarven footprints, but there's also evidence of something larger, like maybe human-sized. And then there's something really weird amongst them. It's a repeating pattern of 3, like circles, like a footprint of 3 circles that walks down the hallway, and it's also a little bit on the walls and the ceiling occasionally.
Okay. Do I does
No,
this
that
ring a
doesn't
bell?
seem like anything you know about at all.
But the dwarven and the human size, they're just basically booted tracks.
Yeah, those are basically booted tracks, but they're ancient.
Okay, so what about those little
Those
circular
are
ones? Are that
newer, but
ancient
they're
too?
also still very old.
Okay. Does Brixton, do you still have that one sword that you had picked up?
That
Still,
what?
The sword.
that one sword that you had picked up in the other tunnels that I was sort of gauging my,
Actually, I've got that. Merrick says, looks over at it a couple times. He goes, as I recall, he
okay.
goes, that was my spoils of war.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're not
I was
talking
just
about the one we found in the other tunnels. You're talking about the other sword. Oh, yeah. Sorry
No,
about
the
that.
one we.
the one that I had sparred with, basically.
Ah, yeah. Sorry. I shouldn't open my mouth.
What I was going to say, if he's still got that, I would like to try it, see if it does any kind of glow type of thing, in this darker area. That
Brixton,
makes sense.
Sure.
you pull,
Okay.
give him the sword. You hold it. Doesn't seem to do anything.
Doesn't seem to do. Okay.
No.
I just hand it back to him. I'll stick with my bows and everything for the time
Okay.
being.
You got, so,
I just wanted to see if it was reacting somehow.
okay. Brixton, as you go down the hallway a little bit farther, about maybe you catch sight of it when it's about 40 feet ahead. It's an open area, and it's a sound where the water is coming from. It is a splashing noise now that you're getting closer. It's kind of like, it sounds like a torrent of water.
Can I see anything?
You'd have to get a little bit closer.
Okay.
Okay, as you get closer, you see an open area, probably about a circular area of about, it's hard to tell because the way the door cuts off the edges of your sight, but in the middle of it, it looks like there's stairs that go down to a large stone water fountain. And it just splashes up in the air and descends down into a pool.
Oh, okay. So it's like the water fountain splashing,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing in there that I see.
No, nothing you see right now.
Okay. I'm gonna wait in front of the door for everybody to catch up.
Okay, you wait in front of the door for everyone to catch up. Ariane, you see this. Now you're close enough because of the torchlight. You see the same thing.
Okay. Any weird stuff on like ceiling?
Make me a percentage die roll, and also Brixton, make me a 6-sider.
6?
Yeah.
44 this time.
Okay. Ariane, you notice that from as you're at the doorway, Brixton, the area is about maybe 30 feet in diameter, and there's 4 sets of stairs that come to it. The one that you're looking down, and one at each cardinal direction point, like north, south, east, west. They all go down the hallways. Ariane, you notice that on the one to your right, the tracks that go up and down from the water are very fresh. And they're the circular 3-footed ones.
Okay.
Do I know what that might belong to?
Make me a 20.
1?
If you had to guess, looking at it, you've heard stories before about a creature that they call a tentamort. That it's basically a circle with tentacles that come off of it, and it like suckers as it walks around. It could be that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just a predator kind of aberration creature.
It's called a tentamort?
It's called a tentamort. But that's the closest thing you've ever seen to something like that. And you're not an expert tracker, so the footprints don't really mean much to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, the water's down there. Sunny looks over at you. She goes, "You want me to scout ahead?"
No, just wait.
Okay.
Is there anything above the other doors? Is there like words?
No, no words. No words.
Not in this one. Carvings, nothing.
Isin kind of leans over and she looks over at Arion. She goes, "What do we do now?"
Which way to the? I mean, other than that one passageway where the Tentamorts or whatever tracks go, is there any other? More of
It's too old to tell, and the dust out in here is a little bit. It's really hard for you to discern.
Okay, I just wondered which one. If there was one that was more.
Brixton, Brixton Beholder's Bane. Be a dear and go ahead and scout it, the room.
Me?
Yeah, why not? You're a thief.
Why not you?
Because you're a thief.
All right. I guess I'll walk in.
See, I told you, he can be trained, she whispers in your ear, Arion.
Matt, are you seriously going to continue taking this?
Did I hear that?
Make me a percentage die roll.
31.
Yeah, actually, you did hear that.
Don't take that, Matt. Come on, man.
Hey, all in due time.
That I'm hearing from the ether here.
I got a plan for this lady.
All right, man. All right.
Okay. It looks like we've frozen up on Zoom for the time being. So, can you guys hear me all right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Everybody's moving, so.
Okay, good. So,
Yeah.
what's the plan?
I'll walk in with Sunny.
Okay, you walk in with Sunny.
And I'm gonna, I guess, look around.
Okay. You walk in with Sunny. Sunny's there. She pulls out her dagger. She's looking around real carefully. You walk down to the water. It's splashing around. There's actually fish in the fountain. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. There's actually fish in the fountain.
Now, does the water splash up from the fountain or down from the roof?
It splashes down from the fountain. It comes up out of the fountain and then down into the water.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Is there anything noteworthy about the fish?
They look like they're just little white blind fish.
Okay, so probably this is maybe a well somewhere.
Yeah, it looks like it.
What else do I see in the room?
In the room, besides that, the stairways that leave out, the ceiling is vaulted and domed, probably about 50 feet above you.
Okay.
The scent of fire here is no longer here. The scent of rust is no longer here.
Say that one more time.
The scent of fire and rust is no longer here.
Okay. Now, did we miss any doors in the hall? Not that we know
of. Not that you know of, but your estimation is that you must have, because the scent shouldn't have just stopped.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, and then you said the tracks led to the right staircase?
It did.
Okay. I'm going to ask Arion if there's any weird tracks going to the front and left.
Okay. Arion, you're going to come down and you're going to investigate as well?
Sure.
Okay. As you're investigating, we're going to go back to the other group that's over at that's back at the camp. The training session is over. You've finished watching it, Rainmar. You've got your information that your help is coming. As you guys are finishing up, Kalissa Entrati has walked over to your group, and she sat down and she just watched the training session as well. She's kind of like drawing in her notepad.
Okay.
As you're done, Rainmar, you want to say something?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Agrias what the hollow handle on the sword is all about.
Okay, Agrias.
Is this the sword I picked up from the girl with the duel, or is
It
this one
is.
we found
It
in
is.
the?
Yeah.
It is.
Sword.
Agrias,
Um,
sometimes you have you know that sometimes your order will hide things in a sword, important documents and things like that.
mhm.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna whistle Lily over to me.
Okay, you whistle Lily over.
Okay, Lily, I need you to check this for traps.
Okay. She looks over at the sword. She's kind of looking at it. She pulls out her little tools. She's adjusting at the bottom of it. Oh. Oh. She goes, yeah, you know what? There is something here. I never saw a sword that was trapped. Let me try and get rid of this thing.
All right, be careful.
Pulls
I
out a
need you
small
alive.
file. She goes, oh, click. I think I got it.
And it kills her instantly.
I think I got it. She looks over at you and she hands you the sword
Okay.
back. She goes, yeah. She goes, this is spring loaded. The bottom of it, it looks like there was some kind of a dart that would come out of it.
Okay. All right. So we can open it up then.
Yeah, it should be safe now.
Should
Just,
be.
All right, well, go
just,
ahead and
just to
open
be
it, Lily.
safe though, I'd open it away from you.
Yeah. So that's what I go ahead and open it away from me.
Okay, Rainmar, you're standing there, Agrias, as this happens. Rainmar opens up. It screws off the bottom of the actual pommel of the pommel of the sword, and as you suggested, the handle of it is empty. It's I should say it's hollow. There was a spring in there, and there is a dart at the bottom of it with fletching on it. Rainmar, you notice that there is some kind of something that there's a piece of paper that's wrapped up inside of what looks like a reed in there.
Okay. Well, I think that Agrias is probably going to have some interest in this. So I show him. I take the reed out. I show him the reed. The
Okay.
reed will just slide out if I tilt the sword.
Yeah. When the reed slides out, Agrias, this is what you see in it. It's actually a collapsible blowgun.
And
Wow.
there's paper around it.
No, there's paper inside of it, stuffed inside of it.
Okay. I'm gonna take the paper out and take a look at it.
Okay, and the dart was obviously could be used for the blowgun as well as the trap.
Sure.
The paper you pull out, are you going to read it?
Would I even be able to read it? I mean,
as you open it up, you can tell that it's not words that's inside of it. It's actually a map.
Can I tell where it's from?
Yes, you
What it's
can.
of?
It leads into the mountains from away from Caverick's Cove, probably about maybe 10 miles from where your location is right now.
To the west?
Yes, to the west, up in the heights of the mountains. And there's an X on a spot. And there's a small drawing next to the X, and it looks like a small tower, and there's the symbol of the Order of the Tenebrous Hand stamped there.
10 miles from where we are?
About 10 miles from where you are.
Obviously, Agrias is seeing all of this.
Yeah,
as I go
Grice is
through
seeing
right?
all of it.
Are you familiar with a place of your order 10 miles from here?
No way. You thought that the only one that existed was where you were.
No. But I think I need to go and check it out.
You say that, and as you say that, Lily is over there next to you. She looks over at you. What should we do?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I've got 24 hours until my friend arrives with reinforcements, and at that time, we could make a 10-mile journey.
Let's wait for your people to get here then.
Herrick looks over at you. He goes, listen. He goes, I gotta be honest with you. Because I think that's a bad idea.
Are you thinking again?
I am, but hear me out, okay? Because I know you think I have dumb ideas, and maybe you're not wrong, but what I'm saying is, if we leave, this place is completely unprotected.
Not if we leave it with reinforcements that I have coming tomorrow.
Well, your friend bringing friends, I mean, it's only one person, right?
Why don't you worry about what you're worried about? And as per typical, I will handle the strategy for our foreman here.
Okay.
But by the way,
yeah.
that whole idea that you have about swinging an axe into somebody's face, I think it's a good one.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'll keep that one in my mind.
Yeah, you've got some good ideas when it comes to blades.
Right. Yeah, well, I'll go back and I'll keep these guys working hard on the wall.
You're doing a great job, Jesus H. Christ.
He walks
Speaking
away.
of Herrick, I have another assignment for you.
Oh, he stops. He looks around. Yeah, what's that?
I put my hand behind Lily and scoot her forward.
Lily looks up at him. He looks down at her. Yeah.
Teach her some things about your axe.
He looks at you to see if you're kidding.
You'd be surprised how fast she learns.
Rainmar is on the ground crying. Just pissing himself.
All right. I guess I could do that. He goes,
Herrick,
yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Well, if you think it's a good idea, it's a good idea.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's train a gnome on how to use an axe then, right, buddy? Pats her on the back. Right. I'd also like to learn how to use a crossbow like yours too. Well, all right, fine. He goes, I'll teach you how to do that too if the boss says so. Come on, let's go over here. We'll get some room and we'll see what happens.
You got an eager learner, Herrick.
What?
You got an eager learner.
Yeah, I know. He goes, I don't know if she can even lift this axe.
It doesn't have to be your axe.
Oh, you're right. What a good idea. I never thought of that.
I'm going to kill myself.
This is why I'm foreman.
He walks away. And Lynn looks over at you and says, I think that the best idea you ever had was to tell him to stop thinking.
That was actually Ringmar.
She looks over at Raymar. That's the best idea you ever had then.
That was actually a Grice.
She rolls her eyes and walks away. Agrias and Raymar, then, you are going to bide time until tomorrow when the reinforcements show up?
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to the colonel and let him know what the plan is.
Okay.
I'll take along for that.
Okay. We'll deal with that as soon as I'm done with these guys over here. So you guys are in the room with the waterfall right now, or I should say the fountain. David, Arion, you do not really. It's very hard to discern the tracks. The tentacle tracks are really much more defined. They're newer. You're guessing, judging by that the creature that you're looking at is probably about maybe. If it walks on the ceiling, it's probably about 7 foot long, and it's probably about 200 to 300 pounds.
Okay.
But that's all you can really discern about it.
Okay. And I don't know exactly what this thing looks like.
No, but it seems to come here pretty regularly, probably in search of water, fresh water.
Okay. The other thing I was wondering, now you said that that smell has disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it really does. We may or may not have missed the door.
Yeah.
We've got four passageways here that smell can waft.
Yep.
In and out, and it may have just been.
So you're going to try and see what you can smelt down each one of them.
I want to see because it might just be latent in that one.
Yeah, it could very well be the air circulating. And as you go forward, you find out that that's exactly what it is. Forward, the stairway going on the opposite side of the water fountain is where it is coming from.
Okay.
That's where the magic is.
You say that, Sonny's eyes light up.
I also say it so Tobias can hear me.
Tobias looks over at you. Tobias looks over at you and he says, listen, he says, I know that my boss doesn't trust this new one. So I'm hanging out behind her, kind of trying to be quiet. I'd appreciate if you wouldn't bring attention to me. Because I could just sense that he doesn't really like her very much. If he doesn't like her, I don't either.
Oh, look at you being a good little Wolverine.
Well, I'm trying my best, like I said. I mean, he's really a dummy, but he's my dummy.
Yeah.
And I got to do what I can to keep him safe. So,
All right. Well, I won't talk to you anymore.
he goes, by the way, he goes, you got any more of the meat snacks?
Oh, we're not talking right now.
Oh, yeah, I
I'm trying to be
forgot.
sneaky.
What were we talking about again?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Why are you talking to me? I'm trying to be quiet. Anyway, so he kind of just ambles back to the back of the group.
All right. Well, should we press on straight? Because I don't want to deal with the tentacle-y thing.
That'd probably be a good idea, and since that's where
Go
we're
ahead and go
following that to
forward.
begin with.
She looks over at you, at Brixton.
I think it's your turn to take point.
She looks
You should
over.
lead
She
the way.
says, "Dear, I realize that I'm going to have to repeat myself several times to you in order to get my point across, but so please forgive me if I sound fatigued in doing so, but you're a thief, and I am a wizard. You are better suited to go forward than I. We should
Well,
do
no,
what we're good at. So go ahead and go forward, and see if there are any traps there, and I will stand in the back, and I will cast my mighty spells to protect you."
All your mighty spells with your one arm.
She looks over at you and she says, "I have more power in this one withered arm than you have in your entire body, my dear."
Whammo!
And she looks at you and she says, "As I recall, you asked me if I could train you, not the other way around. So, as I said, why don't you go ahead and go forward and look for traps and do what you do best, and I will do what I do best."
I'm leaning up against the side of the wall, just laughing my ass off.
Einar and Merrick are just looking at her like, is this woman for real? Brixton, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna shrug.
Uh-huh.
Say, all right, go forward.
Lily just looks at her and says, "Hey," she goes, "Dead girl, I got something for you." She goes, "Oh." She tosses her the gem, turns around, walks away. She goes, "I did what I was good at too." Follows you.
So you're
Let's
supposed
see
to.
if I can snag that out of the air.
Yeah, you can try. Merrick and Einar start chuckling to themselves as you do it. 20-sider, please, David.
9.
Yep, you grab it.
Nice looking gem. Is this yours?
Keep it. It's payment for the obsidian.
Oh, that was a gift, but thank you. Where did you get this? Is it look anything special, or is it just a?
It's just a Kryza barrel. She says
Okay.
it's something just I found in my travails. Sonny looks up at you as you're walking away from her, Brixton. "Did I do okay? I'm sorry I lost my temper."
That was, I mean, I would have kept the gem, but it
Well,
was
she needed
well
to know
timed.
that we're not to be trifled with just because we're small.
Us gnomes got to stick together.
Well, yeah, but she's just a bully, and she's mean, and she's yeah. I don't. She's just a bully.
Yeah, well, she might prove to be useful.
Well, okay. Brixton, you guys continue to go forward. As you go forward, I need you to roll me a 20-sider.
19.
You're going forward down the way past the waterfall. And what you see is another door ahead of you. It's iron. But it is not the kind of door that you saw before. You recognize this kind of a door. It is the door to a dwarven house. It is obviously you have found a habitation. Now, the way that dwarves live is they usually live in a warren of caves or connected rooms in an underground chamber. You feel like you have found the first of these.
Mm.
What will you do?
Well, is the door warm? Does it look like there's something coming from the other side? Can I see light? Or
No, it's actually it's solid. It's seamless almost.
can I inspect it for traps?
Yes, you can. Please roll me a percentage dice, as will Sunny.
21.
You guys are looking at it together. She goes, right there, right there. She points over, and yeah, she's right as you say it. You saw it before she did. It is a trap mechanism.
I ask her if she wants to try disarming it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Can I help her with that, or?
Yeah, you can help her with it.
Okay.
She starts working at it, and without your help, she manages to disarm the trap. It is a gas spray trap. And she ends up using the cotton properly, uses the small knife properly, and the cutters right, and disarms it. She looks up at
Now,
you. She goes, "Was that okay?"
that was great. Is there a way to extract the gas?
No, but you can extract the bladder that holds the gas.
Yeah, that's.
Yep, you got it.
Can we do that?
Yep, it's about the size of a water skin.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do we know what kind of gas it is?
Nope.
Cool.
Okay, so you're going to open the door then?
Yeah.
The rest of the party has met with you. They're all behind you in the room. Arion, you saw him working at the trap, and he looks like he's going to open the door. Do you have any objections to that?
Is there anything else on this door?
No,
Like
not a thing. It's
runes or-
featureless. But Merrick has told you. He goes, this has got to be the beginning of it. He says,
What's that?
he points to the door. He goes, this is exactly the kind of place where we, looks like a habitation. He goes, it's old, but it looks like a habitation.
Okay.
Oh, good. Maybe we'll find some of the bones of your ancestors in here.
Remains to be
You
seen.
could, but
What? I thought he
but
might
it
want
is-
to
well,
pay his respects.
I asked Mark if this would be a decent way, can we go into something like this, dealing with your ancestors type thing.
Oh, yeah. He goes, I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay.
Einar says, I'll be prepared if there's undead here.
Yeah.
And he
As
looks
a-
over
as
it.
a
He looks right at Yasin when he says it. So you're opening the door?
Yeah.
Okay, you open the door. Meanwhile, back at the group, back at the camp,
Yeah.
you've told the colonel what your plan is. The colonel has agreed to the plan. He says as long as there's reinforcements here, he goes, they can expect the same pay that your retainers are getting.
Okay, appreciated. Thank you.
And then we'll move from there. Are you guys would hunker down for the night then and just prepare?
I say to the colonel, I say that we may be required to make a donation to the abbey betwixt dusk and dawn for the reinforcements.
He looks at you and says, "Oh, so you think that we might be able to recruit some of them?"
Well, at least temporarily. My friend is a monk at the temple, and the temple is dedicated to Zanye, the Mistress of Perfection. I believe that they would be good reinforcements, but again, I need to speak with her face to face. I don't want to surmise too much in her absence.
Well, he says, "I would not want to offend the gods. Be prepared to offer 250 gold orbs, but in a pinch, I may be able to double that."
Well,
If
let's
the-
hope for a pinch then, shall we?
If negotiation should prove that necessary.
I do not believe that you will find negotiations from those who come from this temple. But that said, it's considered good form to make a donation.
He nods. He says, "Then 250 gold orbs it is."
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
He nods. He says, "Agrias." He goes, he says, "On your journey tomorrow," he says, "take care." Goes,
Thank you.
he goes, "The mountains," he goes, "are a very dangerous place."
We'll see. I'm confident.
Okay.
You're capable.
I feel capable.
So you guys hunker down for the night. Agrias, will you memorize any different spells?
Yeah, I'll do. I'll stick with magic missile.
So before we hunker down for the night, I'm gonna ask Agrias if maybe he can show me a couple of moves of his fancy elvish style.
Ah.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna start. You're gonna teach him some stuff. Roll me a 20, Agrias.
Yeah.
12.
Okay. You go ahead. You're teaching him some stuff. It's a very unique style, Rainmar. It's really unorthodox. Not what you've been taught at all before. But there's a certain elegance and a certain directness to it that's really it's more of it's definitely an art rather than something that is very very brazen. It's almost like
Agrias,
the difference between learning how to write and learning calligraphy.
Agrias, what's your dexterity?
It is 16.
Okay, so what he's doing might be a little bit beyond me. My dexterity is 15.
It's more like if Agrias wanted to use. He mentions two-handed styles with it. That would be beyond you. But
Gotcha.
you think you can handle this? You think you could probably handle this?
So I'm just gonna mimic whatever he's willing to share about it. I'm just gonna mimic.
What are you going to teach him, Agrias?
I'm going to teach him hard striking, pretty much, the foundational pieces,
Okay.
which is just
He seems like he's got a
footwork
pretty.
and cleaving.
He seems like he's got a pretty good idea of what he's doing. The difference is that you can tell that Rainmar is used to using a bastard sword, and your style is a bastard sword's a little too heavy for your style. You guys prefer something a little bit lighter. So that's the big jump to take.
Would he suggest, Agrias, would you suggest that I use the sword that you gifted me rather than my own blades?
Yes, I would.
So yeah, I guess I'll swing that one around.
Okay,
and see if
so
it
you're
makes
swinging
any
that around.
difference.
You feel a lot better with that sword than you did previously.
Okay,
Okay.
I got you.
The only question before you go to sleep is, are you going to sleep in the caravan that night, Rainmar, or are you going to go somewhere else?
I am going to. Where did I sleep last? I slept in the wedding carriage last night.
Yes, you slept in the wedding carriage last night.
As far as I'm concerned, that wedding carriage is mine. I'm just going to sleep in there again.
Okay. Okay. You
With the
sleep
door
over there,
unlocked.
and when you go over into there, you see that Nelson is actually sitting on top of the carriage. The guy who drove you down in the first place. He's on the carriage. He kind of looks at you as you go in, just kind of smiles at you, and that's about it.
I flick him. I flip an electric. Excuse me, an electrum piece up at him, and I tell him, it's a tip for letting me know in advance if anybody comes up to the carriage.
He looks at you. He goes, "Thank you," and he goes, "And I'll be sure to do so."
Not that he would see her coming anyway. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
I'll have to pickpocket that thing from him later. It's
Okay.
a failure.
So you go ahead. You go to sleep that night. Agrias, you do the same. And I'll go back to the other group for the meantime before you guys begin your journey. You open the door. The door opens up into a room, probably about maybe 10 by 10. The ceiling here is really short. It's only about 7 feet tall. Okay? So it's
Oh,
barely
darn.
over your head, Arion.
I still can't touch the top.
No, you still can't touch the top. It's only about 7 foot tall. All the
It's a-
demi-humans
Ethan,
are...
what about over my head?
The ceiling is only about maybe 6 inches over, maybe 7 inches over your head. Okay?
I'm 5'7".
Oh, you're only 5'7". I forgot. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought that you were taller than that. That's Rainmar I'm thinking of. Yes, the ceiling then is comfortable for you. Never mind. It's only about 7 foot tall. Looking around in the room, what you see is that again, just directly away from you, there's a door. There's another door on the left-hand side of the room. They are both wooden. Okay? The middle of the room has a doormat, has a area rug in it. On top of it is a wooden table. 2 chairs are pushed up against it. There is a skeleton wearing chainmail up against that's laying flat, motionless. That was in one of the chairs across the table. On the right side of the room, built into the wall are 2 shelves. There's bedding on each of the shelves, and there is a desk and a chest of drawers next to the desk that's also in the room. That's on the same wall as you.
Okay.
Okay. I need both of you guys to make me a 12-sider.
2.
11.
That's all you guys see in the room. You're at the front of the party, Brixton. What are you going to do?
Ask Alcindra if she knows how the dwarf died.
She walks over to it. Kind of looks up and down at the dwarf's body. If I had to guess, disease. She looks over at you. I say that because you can tell the bone structure is very hollow. She takes a couple steps back suddenly.
I'm on alert.
As you do that, you see something crawling up out of the rib cage of the body. Something dark, something amorphous is starting to wriggle forth and start to come out towards you. It's this slimy kind of strange growth. It's expanding as it's coming out of the skull mouth up out of the rib cage towards you. I need both of you guys to roll me a 6-sider.
6.
Brixton,
3.
6.
you got a 6 as well, you said?
I got a 3.
Okay. You go first, Ariane. What are you going to do?
This is like a not really solid.
No,
It's
it's
like
not a
pudding
solid,
type.
whatever it is.
I was on alert.
You were on alert, so you can act.
See. Everybody else is pretty much aware, right?
Yeah, everyone's away.
Arrow.
White pitch.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had that ready.
Make me 2 20-siders.
17 and 18.
Okay. 2 6-siders.
See, I wonder if I got any.
What'd you roll?
I got 3 and 1. That's
Okay,
right. You got
you
all
hit the thing.
all the plus.
You hit the thing twice, and Brixton, you're used to white pitch. As soon as you see the thing flaming over there, it hits it. You kind of shield your eyes a bit. It explodes in this incandescent column of white fire. The table is on fire. The area rug is on fire. Yasin backs up. She kind of stumbles backwards into the one of the stone shelves on the wall. This thing that's crawling up out of the body is on fire, but it's continuing to snake towards you. It is actually your turn right now because of your dexterity. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna back up.
Okay, you're back up. Are you going to
Yeah,
attack it at all, or just back up?
I think I'll back up, and I don't know if shooting it's gonna do anything.
Okay, so you just leave it alone?
Can I make an intelligence check to see what I know about it?
Yeah, go ahead and make me a 20.
I got a 13.
This looks like a very, very small gelatinous cube to you.
Got it. And do I know the best way to deal with it?
You just did it, which was a fire attack on it. It will probably kill it eventually, but it will until the
Dead?
fire actually overcomes it. It's going to be a problem.
Can I throw oil on it?
Yeah, you can.
Because it's on fire right now.
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna throw a flask of oil at it.
Yeah.
Roll me a 20.
14.
Okay, you hit the thing. 2 6-siders, please.
A 2 and a 5.
Okay, you hit the thing with the oil flask. Ariane, you see this. The oil flask hits it. The flame just explodes up again. The room is starting to fill with black smoke now, roiling at the top of the ceiling. Sin starts coughing a little bit. You guys start coughing a little bit. The cube is on fire, and it has stopped crawling towards you. The whole room is filling with smoke rapidly. What are you going to do?
Well, I don't want to get suffocated. I would say back out of the room at least.
Okay, you guys all back out of the room. Close the door, I would assume, behind it.
That just contains it, right?
Right.
Everything else is closed up.
Mm-hmm.
I would say keep the door open to get the fumes out.
Okay. So you leave the door open, you guys all back out. Einar was far back at the group. He looks over at you as you guys all back up. He goes, "What's going on in there?"
Not really sure, but we burnt something.
Yeah, it was crawling out of there. It was, I don't know what it was, Sonny says. Sin says, "That, my dear, was a gelatinous cube." She says, "It was a small one." She goes, "But they reproduce by fission. I would expect there to be a larger one somewhere around here." She looks over at you, Brixton. Brixton?
It's not me.
She says, "Oh, well, I'm only telling you that because you're at the front of the group and you should be prepared.
I know what it is.
Oh, you do? Oh, that's
I-
good. She says, once again, she goes, you defy my need to educate you.
Can you tell? I asked her, is like, can you fill me in at least as to what
Oh,
these
yes,
things
what they are is they're amorphous. Actually, she looks over at you, Brixton. Since you know what they are, darling, why don't you teach him?
If I ever meet this chick.
Sonny's
Sure, she-
looking up at you.
They're an ooze that eats stuff.
You see,
Okay.
just smiles. She says, a man of succinctness.
They don't like fire.
She
We
looks
do
over
need
at you, Arion. Did you get that?
Just shaking my head.
So you're all waiting in the room for the fire to go out.
Pretty much.
Arion, you feel pretty good that it's going to be gone probably in about an hour or two.
Okay. I'm making sure nothing is
Yeah.
coming from the other direction also.
Okay. All right, so you go ahead, you watch out for the other direction. In the meantime, we're going to go back to the other group for a moment. The sun rises in the morning, first thing, and filters in through the carriages in which you're sleeping.
Okay.
Raymar, you were not visited last night.
Okay.
Agrias, you wake up and you smell eggs and bacon.
Damn right.
Fresh juice this morning. Everyone eats their breakfast. There is an extra thing of bacon there. The time has come for your group to go ahead and make your procession to the mountains. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Rangmar and Lily.
You're going to leave everyone else there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting to it, Raymar, about what's going to happen next. I think
Okay.
I'm about ready to answer your question.
Okay.
You're making plans for who's going to go and who's not. Okay. And as you're making those plans, coming down from the west, Herrick comes over to you. He goes, "Hey, just so you know," he goes, "the builders are saying we got some company coming." You look over and
Okay.
and there are 3 horses that are walking, figures wearing robes. All of them wearing these gray, dusky robes, coming from the west.
How far out?
Oh, probably about 500 yards. Quite a distance.
I'm gonna send my wolf cub, my warg cub,
Mhm.
out to greet the horses.
Okay, she runs over. She starts running away towards him.
And I'm gonna howl to encourage her too.
Okay. She howls back, and you watch her run over. The riders kind of stop for a moment, and then they begin again. Are you just going to watch them as they come forward?
Yeah, but if I only have a couple of seconds before they arrive, I'm gonna do my best to kind of clean up my hair and wipe the crust out of my eyes and stuff,
Okay.
make myself presentable.
Okay, Grias, how are you going to handle their approach?
I'm gonna follow. These are Ringmar's people, so I'm gonna follow him.
Okay.
Be respectful and whatnot.
As they come forward, all 3 of them stop about maybe 100 yards away from from where the perimeter is going to be built of the wall. They get off their horses. The wolf cub is just kind of sitting there watching them. You watch them get off their horses, They leave the horses out there and they begin walking towards you. They
And
get
do I recognize any of these three monks?
not yet, no, because their hoods are up. But as they get closer, one of them, the first of them in the row, pulls back the hood, and it is the sister.
Okay, so I just walked directly to Sister Artemina.
Uh-huh.
And
Are you gonna go with her, Ariane? Are you gonna go with him, Ariane? Ariane, I'm sorry, Agrias.
I was gonna say, when did Arion get
No,
there?
yeah, Agrias, I'm sorry. You gonna go with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow.
You go with them, and pull back the other ones are pulling back the hood. There's a large, tall. There's a really tall man amongst them. He's the only one that doesn't pull off his hood. The other one is a pretty nondescript guy. Got sandy brown hair that's shaved close to his head. The one at the front has a shaved head as well, but she's got a lock of blonde hair that comes out of the back in a braided lock. Sister Armina kind of has this peaceful smile on her face as she walks towards you. She goes, Brother Rainmar, it's good to see you.
What took you so long?
She laughs a bit. She says, I had to get reinforcements.
And you brought these two. They must be quite the reinforcements.
Well, she says it's who we could find. She looks over and she says, "This is Brother Gareth." She looks over at the human. He looks over and he nods in your direction. And she looks over at the other one. She goes, "And that is Brother Karak."
Gareth and Kara, Sister Artemina, this is Agrias, the Tenebrous Hand, our foreman on this mission.
She bows a bit. She goes, "May the blessings of the Mistress of Twilight be with you."
I bow and say thank you.
She looks at
Pleasure
you
to meet you.
very carefully. She says, "I can see that you've been kissed by the maiden as well.
Yes,
You too exist between light and darkness."
I do indeed.
She nods. She says, I should warn you before we go to your group." She says, and by the way, the wolf cub is still sitting there very intently looking up at these three. It's almost as if it senses kindred spirits.
I'm going to actually introduce the ward cub to Sister Artemina.
She looks down at it. The cub just kind of seems fascinated in the face by her. She leans over and she starts stroking the cub's face a little bit. She kind of growls to it, and it growls back at her. She looks over at you, and she says, I want to warn you before we go to see your friends that Brother Karak will not be taking his hood off."
And why is that?
Brother Karak looks over at you. Brother Karak is probably about 7.5 foot tall.
Jesus Christ.
And he looks over at you.
He's a tower.
He looks over at you and he goes, "Come closer."
Very well. I'll come closer.
He pulls back his hood just a little bit. And behind the hood, Rainmar and Agrias, you see the face of a gnoll looking back at you. That hyena,
Damn.
black gums, white teeth, short muzzle, burning eyes looking down at you.
Hey, your dad?
I see that you got, but Rainmar doesn't know that he's half null.
Pulls back the hood a bit.
I
She
see
says-
you didn't shave today.
She said, "I do not want to distress your friends unknowingly."
Honestly, with our ragtag group, I think you'll fit right in.
Beneath
We
that,
are
you
the
can
very
see the
definition of
point of a
motley.
canine as he kind of smiles underneath the hood. Sister Armina looks at you. He goes, "And now you know why there needs only be 3 of us."
I see. Well, please let us get you familiar with our number.
You lead them into the group, And I think that that's where we're going to go ahead. We're going to stop the session for the evening. It's 11 o'clock right now, and I know that some of us have places that they've got to be. So,
Okay.
gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. I'm sorry that Zoom froze up here. We've had this happen a couple times with Zoom lately. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm going to get to the bottom of it here, hopefully by our next session. And by the next session, I'm hoping to integrate a new technology into the chat that will help you guys see a little bit better what you're going to be looking at as far as maps go and as far as your surroundings go. So you can look
Okay.
forward to that here in our next session, which will be in about 2 weeks. But for now, we're going to
Okay.
go ahead. Why don't you stick around and we'll do some performance, some farewells after we go off the air. But for now, this is Carlos Lysing here for the first Betrayal campaign. For those of you who tuned in, thanks very much for doing so, and we'll see you here in about 2 weeks.
Have a good night.